Hi, this is Don Cowboy Biker Adventures. Today I have for you a complete tour of Sedona. This is a tour I took with Scenic Sedona Tours, and they let me film the whole 5-hour tour. Our tour guide is Mr. Clay, and he will be narrating the whole tour with fun facts about Sedona and also about the history of Sedona. This will be part 2 of several parts to get the whole tour in, and I'll pick up here where I left off on part 1. If you ever wanted to see Sedona in its entirety, this is your chance. This tour normally costs about $126, and in my case, senior cost was $108, and it's well worth it. But here you can see everything I saw. So let's get started with part 2. I think you're gonna like it.
This farm stand looks unmanned. That's because they work on the honor system. They have merchandise in the fridge there. Sometimes cider, apples, stone fruit, and you just drop your money, drop your cash in the jar, and take your merchandise for the road. They work on an honor policy. So the story behind this church, it was originally going to be in San Diego, according to her memoirs. Margaret Brunswick was a nun just passing through this area in the 40s, and she fell in love with the Red Rocks. She fell in love with this community and the landscape, and simply asked for a sign that she shouldn't just stay here in Sedona, build her church here. And she received a sign or two. So that's what she did. She stayed in Sedona. Now, for whatever reason, whether she was just smart or had the foresight to preserve the rocks, the red rocks, she was against using any dynamite whatsoever. And that's what they wanted to use. That was the technology of the time period. Using dynamite before they could pour the concrete foundation. But she was against it, but it meant that she had to wait a year and then another year. Finally, plans came back that didn't require dynamite. By then, a lot of the buildings, and she hired her mentor to design and build the crucifix, the original installation at this church. And that's kind of where the controversy begins. First patrons of this church, when it opened its doors in the 50s, instead of seeing Jesus Christ at the center of the chapel, they saw what looks like an alien grave. This is a true story. The very first crucifix, the very first installation at this church, resembled a skinny alien grave, and Jesus Christ, not so much. So as you can imagine, this spurred controversy for the 50s. She even received some death threats. But the alien stayed for over 30 years. It was later in the 80s when they did some renovations to this church. That alien crucifix was pulled out, and then it went missing. Whether it was stolen or no one knows who took it or where it is today. It's probably worth a fortune. And it's a little bit of the mystery behind this church. Today there's a more appropriate crucifix, a more appropriate installation that does resemble Jesus Christ. So usually 15-20 minutes as this stop should be enough time for you to take in the views, maybe light a candle, say a prayer, spend some money in the overpriced gift shop.
Shoot video, film a short, all stuff like that. Yeah, I think this is one of the most famous places in Sedona right here.
Absolutely. This is a must-see.
Yes. Oh, that
for most visitors.
beautiful.
Some beautiful views. Definitely make sure to take in the views from this church.
Was the nun that started the church still alive when the alien thing was stolen?
That is a good question. I don't know. We'll have to. We could probably ask Google. Let's see.
There you go.
What year did Margaret Brunswick die?
I found this on the web.
I'm not getting any information.
I can find out later. Just curious if she was still here when that happened. How she felt about it.
So there's a church up to the left. It is a Catholic church. However, no Sunday services have ever been held here. In recent years, they started doing services in the afternoons, so you can pick up a brochure and find out when they're holding services. Now, I'm told she took when she asked whether she should stay and build this church here, the answer was yes, because straight ahead of us is the rock formation we call the Two Nuns, or the Twin Sisters. Also, if you look up at the church, where that concrete stile splits the rock into, we'll say, two humps, in the very center of the hump on the left, you can see an old cattle brand that looks just like an R and an X pressed together like they do in the pharmacy. Her family was in medicine, and also, if you speak Latin, R and X is Jesus Christ's initials. So she took that as a sign. This is where she should stay, build her church. I think the biggest mystery, however, is why she didn't install restrooms up at the church. And all we get is these silly porta-johns over here to the left. But not to worry, there's golf carts taxing people up to the church and down to the facilities and the parking. Doesn't actually look terribly busy here. We're in luck, kids. This is what happens when you sign up for our tours and take an adventure in the middle of the week. You don't have to contend with the lines and the traffic. So I'm going to let you out right at the top. It's only handicap parking up there. So I can't stay up there, but I'll come right back for you and pick you up right where I let you out. I'll give you a time. I'll give you about, between 15, 20 minutes. We'll see once we get up there.
This would have been quite a hike up here.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah, it's pretty steep. Alright, you like to take photos and videos. I'm just going to warn you, these cactus over here to the left are beautiful, but they're in the family of cactus that the cowboys nicknamed jumping cactus.
Yep,
and it is believed that they can sense body heat and move an inch or two. And they're trying to use you to propagate, right? They're trying to, like, you know, stick onto you, right, and break off from the mother plant, and that's how they, you know, start another plant. So just be aware.
I had a friend that
no faster way to ruin your day.
I had a friend that got it, but I didn't. So yeah.
Yeah, it seems like they have some awareness. So this is where I'll let you out. Now, there's no wrong way to disembark this vehicle safely. Take your time. Some people like to shimmy sideways. Other people like to kind of step backwards. Other people do a forward front flip aerial gainer. The point is just do it safely. Please take your time.
Clay, can I leave this here?
Yes, you may.
Nice tape.
I'm gonna put it in my cup holder just so it doesn't spill, because I don't know. I see it spilling. I got it. 1 second here. Let me just So we do have a lot of vehicles out there. Remember, I'm wearing a colorful lei, or you can memorize it, you know, what my face looks like. My point is if anyone else, or my point is if anyone else is driving you around today, we're not doing it right.
All right, tell me the story of the leg. It's clay, right?
Clay. Mr. Clay. So I have a 17 after. Why don't we say 20 after? And I'll be back for you. Why don't we say just after 10:35? Between 10:35 and 10:40, I'll be right back here to load it. And continue our adventure. Oh, I'm sorry. I have a photo on my phone. I didn't want you to see the original crucifix that looks like an alien.
Oh, I do.
Come over here and I'll show you before I forget. I don't know. They may have one photo up at the gift shop. You can also do a Google image search for Chapel of the Holy Cross and see some of these original black and whites. There's even a color photo. Chapel of the Holy Cross, or you can actually Google image search Atomic Christ.
Thank you.
So 10:35, 10:40.
All right. One of the most famous places to stop in Sedona. Let's go check it out.
Did you hear what I said?
Beautiful red rock.
Okay.
I'm glad we got a ride up to the base of the church because it would have been one heck of a climb up.
What do you want? You want Mama's cap? Mama's cap? Mama's right here. Mama's right here. You can have this one, Mama's
Pick up shot lot from them.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're going to add kind of a postcard.
Of course, the most famous view is from the other side down the hill.
They just saw over here. I see the bird.
Let's take a look around at the views.
Right. I don't need the money. Go find. Yeah, it was so funny to pick it from. And it was so
Beautiful.
I mean, it just gets crazy.
Let's check out the other side.
But the thing that I have the most
Check
problem
out
with,
these
I got
views.
different things, but
Very nice.
I found this one thing.
Chapel of the Holy Cross.
We had our first cross where
This is what it is. I took a little pumpkin.
yeah, it's gonna be cold for here.
It's going to be cold here, but it's perfect. It does get cold here in winter. I mean, we can dip into the 30s at night, but then during the day, it will go up into the 60s for us, you know, so it's really
Let's go inside and check it out.
So it's perfect weather. Regular season. Leaves changing.
Yes.
There's a gift shop down below. Look at that. Look at that beautiful scenic view of the cross. I may have to switch to my GoPro here when I use the video, because this other Insta360 on high depth HDR don't pick up good in bad light. So time to leave.
Stark contrast of the texture Ford concrete with all the reliefs and the way she did it.
Okay, it's time to go back and catch the tour. So, check out the beautiful views here. It's just fantastic. All of God's beauty.
Even a tree can grow out of it.
I do recommend this tour. This tour for senior was $108 and plus tax. And it's like 4 or 5 hours long.
Thank you. Have a great day. You too.
So, highly recommend the tour. All right, time to catch and wait. I guess sit and wait.
Shape, that's Bell Rock. And because of an event in the 70s, it has its place in Sedona history. So in the 70s, a spiritual leader associated with the Lions Gate group told his congregation of thousands about an event happening here in Sedona at Bell Rock. He called this event the Harmonic Convergence.
He is getting awful close. They will literally leap out a couple inches.
It's crazy. I never heard about people.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's another cactus called the teddy bear cactus. In the same family, so many thorns on it, it resembles a stuffed animal.
Yeah. You don't want any part of that stuff right there.
Nope. Right. Like I said, it's a treat. Since we got an early start, I made a gamble and gave you this as our first stop.
Yeah, I think you made the right choice.
The stop we can usually hit first thing, but later in the day, near impossible.
This is
So the harmonic convergence at Bell Rock is what this spiritual leader told his followers, thousands of people, and called it the harmonic convergence. And he went on to explain that beneath Bell Rock, Earth there for thousands of years, was an alien mothership, a huge UFO. And he knew exactly when it would unearth, coming up. And he offered a ticket. He offered participation.
With a glass of Kool-Aid.
And with a glass of Kool-Aid. No, well, it is the group. You got the right group. That's...
same idea, though.
Same idea. They're very known for their Kool-Aid. They thought you thought our Kool-Aid was good. Wait till you come to Sedona for this event. I'm gonna get you a ticket on a huge flying saucer.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you're gonna leave your worldly troubles behind.
Right.
Now, if you have any money, just give it to me, because where you're going, you're not gonna need it. They work on a different monetary system, so you don't want to leave any money in the bank. Just give it to me so I can buy concessions. We want plenty of popcorn. Well, whatever, he must have been convincing, because over 2,000 people showed up for this event. And then the guy disappeared. The guy disappeared, and those 2,000 people, a lot of them, had given up their life's work, paid a small fortune to get here,
Whose house is up
and had no place to go. So this one was built by the developer of LASIK eye surgery. Has anyone had LASIK eye surgery? You helped pay for that $22 million mansion.
Wow.
22 million.
So this guy, on the other hand, was not against using dynamite. In fact, he was trying to get around building codes here in Sedona that don't allow for structures over 2 stories. So he bought the whole mountain and started blasting it, carving it out, and basically hollowed out the mountain. What you see of that house above ground is just about half of the square footage. He used so much dynamite to hollow out the mountain he's on. He was sued by just about every one of his neighbors. Every one of these neighbors, he used so much dynamite, it sent fissures in the bedrock, a quarter of a mile in every direction. And so he was successfully taken to court and sued by just about every one of his neighbors in this neighborhood for damaging the foundation of their homes.
And he still got his house.
And he still could afford it. Yeah. So out to the left, once again, Cathedral Rock. Out to the right, the Resting Maiden. The natives, the First Nations, used our red rocks, used the red rocks around Sedona to tell the story, their story of creation. The story goes something like, on the back of a large turtle, which converts into a woman in full who gives birth to life on Earth. Well, that's the Resting Maiden to our right, part of their story.
This is where I'm going to end part 2, and this is exactly where I'll pick up on part 3. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of the adventure. So until next time, have a good one.